You're standing in the sanctuary, hands raised. The fourth worship song just ended when the pastor leans into the mic. The Spirit is so strong right now in here, I don't want to stop playing. And your eyes roll, just slightly, just enough for you to notice. And the empty feeling in your chest brings a thought with it. I'm here, I'm doing everything right, and I'm not feeling anything. You think, I left the old life behind. I show up, I pray, I read the word, I serve my family, my church, my community. There have been more than a few Sundays where the Spirit seems to be moving all around me, but not within me. And when that happens often enough, you start to wonder, is it me? Am I doing something wrong? Is my faith even real? In your life, you know what you gave up to get here. When the worship song plays and you know exactly what you laid down at the feet of Jesus. And somewhere in that commitment, an expectation took root. If I give this up, God will come through for me. I'll feel him. I'll hear him. I'll know he's there. That's not weak faith. That's just honest. But here's what I've had to sit with. That expectation, it's an unspoken contract, and God never signed it. I wrote it myself. That's how men have always been wired. We see a problem, we come up with a solution. We make a deal, we get a result. It's how we provide for our families. It's how we lead. It's how we fix things. When we came to Christ, we made a commitment to walk a narrow path, and we gave up real stuff to get here because we had faith that walking the path was more important than what we left behind. And somewhere in that commitment, a quiet voice starts saying, if I walk this path faithfully, God will make it worth it. That's logical, right? It's just like every other transaction we conduct. You get what you pay for. Effort produces reward. Sacrifice produces return. That's how the world works, but God isn't a contractor. He didn't promise in writing to build your house by the end of July. He promised to cover your sin with his blood. That's a different kind of promise entirely. And here's what Scripture actually says about whether God hears you in the middle of that silence. Psalm 34. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry. 1 John 5. This is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And Proverbs 15. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good, not as a cosmic police officer waiting to punish you, as a father, a loving father, who never takes his eyes off his children. God isn't just listening, he's watching. And sometimes a good father watches closely and holds his tongue. That's not absence, that's presence. God can feel strangely quiet and still be listening. That's not a feeling, that's a promise. John 15 doesn't say the branch always feels the vine. It says, stay connected. And for men wired to produce like us, that's not natural, that's not instinctive, and it's not what we want to do when something needs to be done. Every part of us says, find the solution, fix the problem, make something happen, and then God says, no, don't fix it, just bring it to me. And sometimes that's where you end up. Not with an answer, not with a feeling, just a quiet decision. I'm going to have faith anyway. Not because I suddenly felt something, but because I believe he's got an answer, even when I can't feel it. It's not a victory lap. It's just a man choosing to stay connected on a Sunday morning when the Spirit seems to be moving all around me, but not within me. Not yet. So what does God actually promise a man who's doing everything right? Not that you'll feel him, not that the silence will lift on your timeline, not that the answer will be the one you're hoping for. He promises he hears you. He promises the connection is real, and he promises that time spent connected to him is never wasted, even when it feels like it might be. So here's what that looks like for me. On an ordinary morning, I give the first fruits of my day to the Lord. I reach for God before I reach for my phone. Not because I always feel like it, but to prove to myself and to show Him abiding is more important than any other connection I have. Just the first 5 minutes. I thank Him for another day. I bring what I'm carrying, the things I'm grateful for, the things I'm dreading, the questions I still don't have answers to. I go back to Him. What does staying connected look like for you on the hard days? I'd really like to know. Drop it in the comments below. I read every one. So staying connected, that's what it looks like for me. It's not a feeling, a practice. I've had to train myself how to abide, and I'm still in training. Some days, that muscle gets sore. But on the days when that's all I have, I still feel connected. Not because the contract gets honored, but because He called my name. I believe in Him. And as much as I want to fix my own problems, staying connected to the vine is what I'm actually supposed to do. And some days, it's the hardest thing I do. So if you're waiting to hear from God, just remember, it's never been more important to stay connected to Him.